Let's say you're meeting some old friends for a drink. You pull out your Polaroid or Instax camera and take a picture as a memento of the night. You snap the shot and hand it to them as it starts developing, and as if driven by some biological imperative, they begin to shake it. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Andre 3000's words reverberate as if coded into our DNA. People just know what to do when you're handed one of these. You shake it, right? Wrong. On this episode of In an Instant, we are going to investigate the phenomena of this potentially hazardous instinct, why it's actually the opposite of what you want to do with a Polaroid picture, and why shaking Polaroids actually did used to have a purpose. Let's get shaking. Or actually, don't.
Kind of photography that would become part of the human being. Press a button and have the picture.
It's 2003. Outkast's Hey Ya is becoming one of the most widely heard and beloved hits of the year, as it begins its trajectory as an all-time classic. The lyrics, "Shake it like a Polaroid picture," are etched into pop culture's stone tablet, and if people weren't shaking their shots already, they certainly are now. Polaroid is toiling in the wake of their first bankruptcy, as instant film loses relevancy in imaging, and sales dwindle to new lows.
The disgrace of Enron and Polaroid, like the destruction of the Twin Towers, has left many hungry for evidence of accomplishment, honor, even heroism among us.
But with one lyric, they find an abrupt resurgence.
Because I was just shaking it like a Polaroid picture. What did you do at work today, Dad? I shook it.
Polaroid's sudden relevancy comes with one hitch, however, and it's the pesky fact that shaking a Polaroid can not only damage the image, it hasn't ever been an acceptable practice for integral instant film, the type of film introduced in the early 70s and the kind we still use today. So, though Polaroid certainly enjoyed the renewed interest in their product, they had to clear the air on the issue, releasing a statement on their website reading, "Polaroid film never touches air, so shaking or waving has no effect. In fact, shaking or waving can actually damage the image. Rapid movement during development can cause portions of the film to separate prematurely or can cause blobs in the picture." At this point, you might be thinking, when Andre 3000 sat down to pen those lyrics, it had been 30 years since this product was released, and given it never had to be shaken at all, why would he think to write that? Well, we have to rewind back to the 1940s, when Polaroid founder Edwin Land first conceived of the crazy notion that instant film could even be possible. A positive and a negative sandwiched together, with the entire darkroom process contained in each magical picture. Well, while the first Polaroid film type did not have liquids per se, it wasn't exactly dry either. Until the 1970s, all Polaroid film types were processed by manually pulling the film through rollers, sandwiching the positive and negative layers with a chemical goop that both developed and fixed the final image, which was peeled apart to reveal the processed positive. For Edwin Land, this was a very irritating compromise. Since the beginning, he was intent on releasing a film free from the burden of messy chemicals, moisture, and inconvenient storage as the picture was drying. Despite his ultimate vision, from 1947 until 1973, you actually would have had a reason to shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shaking it dried the print faster, and there wasn't any risk of damaging the print in doing so. But in 1973, Edwin Land unveiled the final culmination of his dream for instant film. A print that could eject through rollers that was entirely contained, sealed in plastic, no wet chemistry, and a layer that protects the film as it develops, then fades away to reveal the print. All in a package you very much do not need to shake. Fast forward 30 years, and we're back in Outkast tour bus. Andre 3000 is putting pen to paper, and despite Polaroid film not needing to be shaken in his entire lifetime, he jots down the indelible lyrics that would mislead generations to come. Though the Polaroid Corporation initially looked like a nerd in correcting everyone, they didn't completely fail to realize the opportunity at hand. They smartly decided to lean into Hey Ya, making a deal with Outkast to use Polaroid cameras on stage at live performances and bring them to award shows and late night appearances. The fervor swelled so much that Democratic presidential candidate Wesley Clark said on the campaign trail, "I don't know much about hip hop, but I do know how Outkast can make you shake it like a Polaroid picture." And for some reason, General Clark didn't resonate with American voters. I just don't get it. Polaroid's resurgence into cultural relevancy could only take them so far. By 2008, the company began dissolving entirely. But the upstart Impossible project stepped in to save the dying format, reformulating the chemistry from scratch. Their new instant film products were a literal rebirth of Polaroid, And because of the immense challenge of introducing this complicated product back to market, it wasn't very stable at first. Suddenly, shaking it like a Polaroid picture was not only antiquated, it was also substantially more damaging to the film than ever before. Shaking the picture could practically make the image disappear, disrupting the fragile chemical process and exposing it to gravitational torment. It was like putting a glass vase in a laundry machine. And you only gotta do that once to learn it's not a great way to clean a glass vase. We're now in the mid-2020s, 50 years removed from the introduction of integral film, and Polaroid's modern product is substantially more stable than its reintroduction in 2010. But even so, shaking it like a Polaroid picture can only bring harm to your precious Polaroid pictures. So spread the word, be the nerd, tell a friend or a loved one, end shaking it, encourage placing it in a dark, flat environment like a Polaroid picture. Put it in your bag and keep it flat like a Polaroid picture. And maybe 50 years from now, people will finally let their photographs develop in peace. Thank you for watching In an Instant. Go ahead and shake that subscribe button to bits. Stay tuned for more breakdowns, reviews, shoots, and all things instant. Bye. And to be clear, I love Hey Ya.